So today's question is from Mark, and he says, I understand the concepts of brand strategy, brand story, and so on and so forth, but how do I really express my message? How do I really express my brand story or, the strategy? Okay, so there are three cornerstones of brand expression. The first is the brand persona. Brand persona means it is how your brand appears to your target audience. And of course, this includes the story. This includes things like what the brand stands for, okay, what it believes in, and the kind of ideals and the vision and the mission that the brand is really committed to. So that is the first cornerstone. You need to have a brand persona. You need to build a brand persona. You can't just have a logo, a name, and a website or some graphics thrown together and then just go out there and try and express your brand, right? If you do that, you're not really creating a connection with your audience. You're not really aligning with your audience. You're not really building a kind of a bond with your audience, right? So you need to have a brand persona. And of course, your brand persona comes after you've identified your audience persona. Now that's a whole different topic. I'll do another video on that, but let's assume that you already know who your audience is. Not just know them, just generic, yeah, it's males 30 to 40 living. No, not like that. You need a real deep persona, right? So once assuming you have that, then you build your brand persona to match and align with your audience. That's the first cornerstone. The second is communication. That means your brand message. Like your persona then can be expressed through telling the story of your brand, the brand story. Now, I did a video recently about the brand story, which is not the same as your origin story. So check that out first, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So communication of your brand story. So this assumes that you already have your brand story framework, right? So if you already have the brand story framework, you already know what the message is, then you communicate that. Now, how do you communicate that? Through the third pillar, which is the visual communication, right? So you have, or rather the visual expression. So you communicate your message through different touch points. A lot of it is, of course, written, the word. But the third cornerstone is the visual expression. This, of course, is where your logo comes in, your website, the kind of graphics you have, the look and feel of the different touch points, your marketing materials. So the three cornerstones bring together the brand expression. Now, I apologize, I've just used a lot of the kind of brand jargon, but there's no other way to talk about this without using those words. If we take an example, let's say we look at Airbnb, right? Okay, so Airbnb has a brand persona. It's fun, it's hip, it's all about the emotional kind of connection to your home, believe it or not, right? So their brand persona is that emotional connection to home, which is then expressed or rather communicated. So their messaging is all about use Airbnb to sort of book places when you're traveling so that you feel like you're at home, right? And then the third one is the visual expression, which they do through these beautiful photographs of their places, but with people in them. So they're trying to connect their audience to the places and then reminding people that by booking through Airbnb, you will feel like you're at home, even though you're traveling and you are in foreign places. So those are the three cornerstones of brand expression. And Mark, so I hope this answers your question. I will try and do different videos on brand persona, communication, and visual expression. But I hope this one just gives you an overall idea of where all these things stand together. All right, see you in the next video.